Hey, welcome to Extra Bases with Bristol and Booth. As you will notice, it's pretty glaring that we don't have our normal lighting, and I'm a little disappointed by this. We came into this room in the studio, in the station, and I couldn't get the lights to work. And Jeremy, this is not doing me. You look fabulous. Any lighting, but it's not doing much for me, and I'm a little disappointed by this. So my apologies for this production setup and the fact that it's not what we're normally used to.
You know, I'm okay with it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm okay with it. I do feel for you in your time of need.
Yeah.
But I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm still looking for a spot for the scoreboard, but right now I'm good with the light.
Now, when we look at what's happening in baseball, the big news as we record this on May 15th, the Astros get their top starting pitcher at this point of this season, Ronel Blanco, suspended 10 games for the illegal substance that was found inside his glove, the sticky substance. We've been told by the Astros that it was a mixture, believed to be a mixture of rosin and sweat. Now, Major League Baseball has not told us, and based on what I gathered from the ballpark, they haven't told the Astros either what they believe this substance was. But essentially, the Astros, they support the fact that Ronel Blanco is not going to appeal the suspension. We'll get into that. But also, Dana Brown, when I asked him, do you support the Ronel Blanco decision not to appeal? Yes, absolutely. Ronel's a good dude. He's worked hard to get here. It is what it is. And the next question was, do you guys let your players know about these rule changes and what these rules are? And yes. Now, Joe Espada later said, maybe we need to review them. But do you think the A's may have tipped the umpires off on something like this? Or was it simply just a routine check and the umpires found something during a routine examination?
You know, there's always some gamesmanship. So I would imagine the A's saw something and, you know, did checks and say, hey, man, take a look at this. But I also will tell you, I can't prove that. You don't know for sure, you know. And today's day and age, the theme really is proof, right? You got to prove things, you know. And I would say that I can't prove that. I think it's smart if they did. It's likely, but can't prove it. What I can say is the umpires are doing their job. And this is a rule, right? And if you break a rule and you're caught breaking a rule, or in some cases, breaking a law or violating things that are set in stone to protect people, such as in this case, the sticky stuff on the ball, you got to do the time. You got to do the time, right? So it doesn't matter why you did it. It doesn't matter what your reason is for it. It's an infraction. And in this case, there's a penalty. And that penalty happens to be 10 games. Now, good thing for the Astros is if somebody's going to have, it's a pitcher, right? If somebody breaks it, gets suspended, it's a pitcher. So they can cover that. It isn't ideal. They're starting to play better. Lineup's starting to get back into a little bit of a flow. They're not scoring a lot of runs. They're scoring enough to get by, but the pitching's showing back up again. So it's not ideal. But it could be managed, you know, and the organization's doing the right thing by not arguing that.
Well, here's why I don't think it really matters, because say that Ronel Blanco does appeal and they knock it down from 10 to say 8 games, it's still not going to matter because you're going to a 6-man rotation because of this long stretch of games. So he's going to miss one start regardless. He's going to miss one start within a 10-game suspension. So what's the point of knocking it down to 8 games when you're going to still miss the amount of time, unless you feel that, I assume maybe under a principle, you know, it's the principle thing, but Dana Brown told us that Ronel and his agent had decided just to move ahead with this, move past.
That's a smart move. There's no reason to argue this one. You know, you broke the rule. It may not be. It doesn't. So look, I'm a big believer in that. When you break laws or break rules or of governing bodies, right, that are there for fair play. Which, I mean, that's just what this is, right? You know, that's what that is. And you get punished, you get caught. Why drag it out? Maybe have a speedy and quick resolution to something you're at fault for. And he did that, and he's like doing the right thing. He's moving on. So, I'm a fan of that. I think that's what honorable things people do and honorable groups do. So it says a lot about Ronel Blanco's character that he's not dragging this out. So, you get to a place where, the agent's doing the right thing, guys and kids going to do the right thing, you move on.
It's interesting, Ronel Blanco, not surprisingly, at the ballpark today, I saw him with a new glove.
Yeah.
A different glove.
Yeah.
Is it, some people have brought up that in past examples.
Wait, so you're saying he had to stop using it? He got caught with the glove.
Well, I don't even know. My guess is MLB still has it.
They took it away.
Yeah.
So he had to stop using it. So,
Yeah.
so just to recap,
well,
he had something he wasn't supposed to be using, and he was caught with it. He had to stop using it, and rather than fight that and drag it out, he did this. He accepted his punishment. Is that right?
Yeah.
Is that fair? Okay.
Yeah.
Just want to be sure.
But in the past, and again, I haven't looked quite into this as much as I should, is that sometimes guys have been allowed to change gloves or wash their hands. I'm just curious why that was not the case in this instance.
Well,
I guess without asking an umpire or the umpires, we'll never know.
The one guy said something like, "This is the worst he's ever seen."
Yeah, but apparently they say that all the time when they nail somebody.
I'm just saying I don't know. I'm saying what he said. I just think it's clear facts, and I think the point is it says a lot about his character. It does say the Astros need to review their rules, like maybe review the handbooks of what they're supposed to be doing and what the laws are of the game and how you go about it, because this is written in the rules. It's the law. Player association isn't stepping up to fight it. MLB is not. That's what it is. No one's arguing this thing. And Dana and the club, if they thought he was being wrong, they'd step in for him. They do a good job of that around the league. You step in for your players, but in this case, had a rule. It was in place before this happened. Broke the rule. Got caught with it. As a punishment, had to stop using it.
What's the craziest substance that you saw a pitcher use? Because you're a catcher.
Yeah.
So you intimately worked with these guys to get batters out. I'm not asking you to name names. I'm just saying, what are some of the substances, or is there anything that sticks out in your head from your playing days as a catcher and working with pitchers in these independent leagues? Because I imagine it's like the wild, wild west.
It's like that. It was like that everywhere. You're talking about a different time. Like this stuff was accepted. You know what I mean? There was a pitcher who's a big leaguer who took my glove one day and put pine tar all around the glove. So imagine my hands, and it was there, and it was there, and it was all, and a little bit down here. So when I caught the ball, I'd get pine tar and throw it back. Now, what happens is those balls get tossed through, but the pitcher gets a couple of, pitches balls in play, in theory, with every ball that hits my glove. So you've got the rosin, you've got, the stuff on your fingers to make the ball, to grab the baseball. And trust me, you don't want guys throwing 95, 96 all over the place. You want that, you want to be able to know where it's going. But the pine tar on the glove was a very unique trick. I'm not going to name names on it. Guy's big leaguer, awesome dude.
Yeah.
But it was pretty funny. He takes my glove. So what are you doing? He goes, "Be quiet. I got this thing," And I watched what he did. And he goes, "Here you go. You're catching with this tonight." I was like, "All right, sweet." You don't say anything. That's it.
I was shocked, and I can't believe that I never knew this or even looked it up.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really know what was in rosin.
What's in it? I never looked it up either.
It's from plants, so it's like almost like the sap.
Yeah.
It's if I have this right, it's basically the foundation. Its foundation is tree sap.
Oh, there you go. That makes sense. The funny thing about this guy is, at that point, he had done this trick for 8 years and hadn't been caught yet.
Wow.
Yeah, and when he did it for 8 years, and he finally did get caught, I had to switch out gloves too. I'm not gonna say who it is. I'm gonna say who it is, but he had to stop doing it when he finally got caught 8 years after starting it.
Wow.
Big leaguer, good dude, but still got caught 8 years later.
Wow.
Yeah, might have been 7 years later.
Okay.
Yeah, but I think the next year, 7 or 8 years, somewhere in there. He had to stop doing it. That's how it works.
The one beauty of this show is that we have a front row seat with Jeremy Booth. So anything baseball related, we can ask Jeremy Booth. Now, earlier on Wednesday, The Athletic published a story saying Sony sued for trademark infringement over MLB The Show use of Future Stars program. That is the headline. And essentially, Program 15 Future Stars series Program 15, Jeremy Booth's company claims that the Future Stars Series program feature found in MLB The Show unlawfully infringes on Program 15's trademarks and creates material confusion between the Future Stars Series and the video game feature. The Future Stars Series was launched in 2016. The Future Stars Series program has been a feature in MLB The Show since 2017. Major League Baseball, MLB The Show, I should say, is, of course, a massive video game by Sony. I don't believe Sony offered any response to this article. Jeremy, we have you here. Program 15 is seeking damages related to trademark infringement, false advertising, unjust enrichment, among other claims. Program 15 declined to comment. Sony did not immediately respond to a request for comment. The one thing, and I should probably preface this, a lot of this is in the public record now. And the one thing, and I'm not going to directly quote it, but essentially Sony not responding, my words, not yours, seems to be a general theme when I look at the argument of Program 15 that you're looking for a number of pieces of information in this suit, including asking Sony to show how they came up with the name, the financials in terms of how much does this video game franchise generate in terms of revenue. And if I read this correctly, 90 plus requests from the Program 15 legal representation to Sony to get some sort of pieces of information that would be part of this case that Sony has outright refused. That is in the public record. I'm giving you the forum, Jeremy, if you'd like to add to any of this, or if you will continue to decline to comment.
There's two ways I can go with this. First thing is I can do the Derek Jeter line. And I can say,
wait, you used that last time.
Yeah, but it
you
works.
Used that last week.
Jeter
You didn't use that 2 weeks in a row.
He did a great job with it. It'll work forever. You know, I guess what I would say is, I'm going to stand on what is in that. What you're looking at is the motion to compel. That's what you're looking at, which is public record, and the lawsuit's public record. And anything that isn't public record, I'm not going to comment on. Okay. And what I will say about this stuff that's public record is more of just the factual information that's there. Okay. In the motion to compel and searchable in any database, right? It says lawsuit was filed August 29th of
2023, right?
Yeah. 2023. Yes. We're 10 months later. Okay. That's a long time to have no answers. We didn't even start again in the motion to compel until December 20. As far as exchanging information, tells you what our team did to go into this to try to investigate on our side. You know, hey, what's the deal here? You know, there is no doubt whatsoever that as far as Future Stars Series and what it is, that we had it in August of 2016. It's publicly released. It's out there. It's there's videos. It was timestamped on Facebook. This is not anything that had staff. I mean, this isn't anything that wasn't going, and how we came up with it. And at the time it came up with it, nobody had it in the world, because I searched. I actually looked, right? From there, I don't have answers. I have speculation, and it isn't fair to anybody to speculate or comment on that. What I can say is that understanding the law as we understand it, if a simple research of it, which I'm not going to do for people, will show you what the standards are and where that goes. And this isn't anything that I'm playing around with. I'm just not. I'm not playing around with it. You know, it's not something that feels great. It's not something that you want to go through. It's not something that is a whole lot of fun. But the reality is we created something, and we did it in a way that was unique. And the lawsuit and the motion to compel speaks for itself. It literally speaks for itself. Anybody who has any questions should just go look it up in public record and pull it out. You know, trademark law, again, do your own homework. Very clear. There's clear on how that works, and it's not for me to interpret it. I think that it's frustrating for anybody, certainly, you know, people who are just trying to get to resolve something, to have 96 requests go mostly unanswered. and to not get any information, and from there I can just stop. I'll stop at that point because it doesn't matter after that. I have an excellent team in Dyke Magassett and Isaac Villarreal, Jen Frazier, Amanda Gordon, Karen Popple. Sebastian Camp. I have an excellent team, and I'm thankful for them.
Mm-hmm.
And I look forward to a resolution on this one way or the other, but I will tell you, in case anybody's concerned or needs to know, it's right on my shoulder. And you don't do that with something that you didn't create. You don't do that with something that you didn't put your heart and soul into. You don't do that with something that you're playing on words somewhere else. And when you come up with it first and somebody else tries to use it regardless, and we're not talking about chess or making pancakes here. We're talking about baseball, talking about a function in the game that evaluates players and ranks players. And we're talking about all kinds of things. And that's just what MLB the Show's game does. We did it first. Doesn't matter. And that's just that. And that's all I have to say about that, because that part is on paper. That's there. So anything else after that, I look forward to resolution. This has been out for a while as far as, some other people picking it up. But I thought, reading the article today, Melissa and Britt did a very, very good job of just sticking to the facts. No opinions, no anything. Just did a good job. And I say Melissa and Britt because that's who wrote it, Melissa Locker and Britt Garoli. And did a great job of just simply putting in what was going on. Public record, anybody can find it. I encourage people, if they want to learn about it, to go do so. But as far as I'm concerned, I have a great team, and that's as far as I'm going to go.
I will say it's interesting that some of your alums that have been in the Future Stars series, if I have this correct, they are in the game under the Future Stars series, part of MLB the Show, if I have that correct. But again, Sony did not immediately respond to a request for comment regarding the article that was out in The Athletic today. So again, since you were here, I felt like you're in the news. We should at least get something from you, because I can't sit here and pretend like it's not out there and it's not happening. And I understand that and if Sony was sitting across from me right here, I understand that they would be limited in what they could say potentially as well.
I think we can say, and I'm by no means a superstar. We have this persona that we play here because we're on TV and we're talking about it, and you've given me such a great platform over time to be able to develop into something I love doing, which is talking baseball with you and talking about the Astros. What I'll say is this: I'm comfortable who the baseball world identifies. Matter of fact, there's comments all over the place, anywhere from people who don't know, no understanding, didn't do any homework, to somebody saying, "Hey, I thought that was you." I really did. And so that's the problem. If one person thinks it is, and other people don't because they're just playing video games, look, here's the thing. I'll say this too. I'm 47 years old. Last time I played a video game, I was about 25. I don't do it.
Yeah.
I got other stuff going on. And it's not a shot at people who are gamers and make money on it, man. It's a huge deal. It's not something I do.
Yeah.
And the only reason that I found out about this was because it was brought to my attention. I wasn't looking for this. And if you ask baseball, as evidenced by the coverage, who Future Stars series is, they'll tell you. I think they already are, right? If you look at how much the traction this has gotten, or how much it's looked at, I'm actually kind of, I don't want to, humbled by it, because I'm not a superstar, but I do have my own name and I have my own track record. And to be able to do what's happened and to have that, and then to have to wait this long to even get an answer. An answer, a real answer, not some whatever, but a real answer. It shows a lot about, in my mind, it sends a very clear message to me. What that message is still for me, but for anybody who just reads that, they're going to be able to get their own perception of why this has taken so long to even get to this point. It's all public record.
And I'm sure this will be entered into
evidence.
Evidence.
I'm not.
No, I know. I'm just saying.
I'm not throwing. It's not for me to throw.
You're not. I'm just saying. I'm looking forward to this gets entered into the record.
It's not for me to speculate on the other side. That's not it. I have a team that is asking to deal with facts and information, and we've had to take the steps we've had to take, which are public record, and that's what was picked up on. It's that simple.
All right, moving on now to the American League West. There has been a little bit of a shift a little bit of a shift since we've been really focused on the rest of the division.
Yep.
The Angels are 3-7 in their last 10 and are 15-28, 17-25 as of tonight. The Astros, the A's 19-25. The Rangers are leveling at 22-22, 4-6 in their last 10. Mariners are 5-5. Basically, what you're seeing from this division is no one's running away with it, nor I don't think they will either. I think it could potentially come down to some deadline deals made that might be what wins the division. Not what we're seeing now, but perhaps what a team or two adds come trade deadline, that might be what actually wins this division. Am I wrong?
I still think the Astros are the best team in the West. You know, I think you're starting to see them do better things. And so I think you're right, pending health, pending some other, but you know, the Astros have a chance to win tonight, right? They have a chance to win tomorrow. They got a Brewers team coming in here that, you know, it's a chance to win some games there. And then they have the Angels behind that. So this is actually a stretch to kind of get well, find some rhythm, find some synergy in what they're doing. And I say that because that's two teams in the West. That's damage for the West. The Mariners can't hit. They came in here when the Astros weren't healthy, and they're just not. They can't swing the bat. And we're hitting out of order in the lineup. This is better. This is better. You know, it's not great. It's better. And it's evidence that it's not great because you're scoring 1 run a night, 2 runs a night, 3 runs a night every night. That tells you something's out of place. But I still think this is the Astros are the class of the West.
I'm glad you brought that up because I think last week you said Kyle Tucker hitting second was an unmitigated disaster.
It is for what he should be doing. It still is.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, he's hitting the ball hard when he gets a fastball.
Okay.
Okay. And he's got a lot of opportunities with one guy or nobody on base. And if that's what we're playing for and that's the goal, then hit him there. But the score still says 3-0 or 1-2-1 or whatever. It still shows up that way. And that doesn't mean that you're scoring runs in bunches to put people away. You're still not using the lineup as effectively as you can. Pena has been bounced all over the place. 6, 4, 2, 5. I think he's hitting 5th tonight.
Mm-hmm.
That's not, you can't get comfortable that way. Each spot has a different role. Alvarez has stayed put. Altuve has stayed put. And Tucker, outside of the one day he didn't play, has stayed put. Okay. It just doesn't mean that's still the best flow. You know, you got Dubon playing first base tonight. That was concerning. Why isn't he playing left field and let Loperfido play first base? What's the problem there?
I think that because I don't think they really obviously they really don't view Loperfido as a true option at first base, at least not right now. I think the lineup cards.
Then why is he playing? Send him back to AAA
to get at bats. And
okay, right. So I mean, if this is what's going on, you know, you're still not all the way there. Is the point? I think the better flow, and I had this conversation with a couple people at the stadium tonight who remain nameless. You look at this club, it's obvious. I actually said I think somebody's trying to make a point. Let me say, yeah, you're probably right. You know, because it's not.
Oh, sorry.
Bat phone.
I thought that was Dana Brown calling. But it's not. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, somebody said to me, I said, I think somebody's trying to make a point, and that person said, yeah, you're probably right. Because you look at the roster, there's no reason why he's not hitting in the 2 spot. If you look at what Tucker is doing, would you rather have Tucker hitting fastballs or breaking balls? If you look at the swing he had tonight that drove in Altuve, it was fastball.
The numbers, I mean, right now, Kyle Tucker, granted, he has over a 1,000 OPS batting second, 226 batting average, 4 homers, but only 6 runs driven.
See, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah. We're not talking about whether or not he hits a solo home run. If that's your goal, put him there and he gets a fastball, fine. If your goal is to extend the lineup and win games, he's still not the right guy there. You want him hitting behind Alvarez for fastballs. By the way, Alvarez behind him breaks up the double, or him behind Alvarez helps break up the double play.
Hey, give credit to Jeremy Pena too, I think. I mean, the fact that they've moved him all over this lineup.
Yeah.
You know, last year was not what Astros fans imagined because of the tremendous postseason he had in 2022.
Yeah.
But man, give that guy some credit because it looks like all the work he did in the offseason has really paid off because they have moved him all over this lineup and it really hasn't mattered. Like maybe that's the guy is a video game guy, at least right now, because anywhere they put him, Jeremy, and I know that you feel number 2 is his best and optimal place to be, but give the guy credit because they've moved him up and down that roster or that lineup, I should say. They've moved him up and down that lineup and he's producing.
Let's take that point for a second because you're 100% right. Let's take that point for a second. In this lineup theory of your best hitter hit second, right? Who's the best hitter the Astros have right now?
Yeah, I think he plays short.
Yeah, I mean, there's no other way to cut that. Why would you not move him to the 2 spot?
Yeah, that's interesting because we've talked so much about the best hitter. So if he's their best hitter right now, why wouldn't they put him at number 2?
Because somebody's trying to make a point. That's it. It's the only reason, because somebody's trying to make a point. Because you go Altuve Pena, who does a lot of things, and you would go then. I don't care at this point. Alvarez, Tucker. I still think it's Bregman. I think Bregman's going to show you that, and the more he gets healthy with his swing, he's made some adjustments. It is the exact adjustment we talked about, by the way. His version of that, which was very interesting to watch out, listen how people think, right?
Yeah.
His version of it was thinking that, when he got to the big leagues, he was hitting the ball down. And then they started pitching up in the zone. And like good hitters, he tries to stay above the baseball. He's not trying to hit underneath it. So he was going so hard down this way that his hands got a little bit too high and his body got too much forward, which is what I told you about his hands getting by his head a little bit.
Yep.
He has such a short load that this much right here back is fine versus that much up. And that's what was going on. And it made him in and out of the strike zone. All he's done is keep his body back behind the baseball, keep his hands inside the ball, and we're back to seeing what we got, right? So if Alex Bregman's doing that, he's your 3 hitter. He gets the ball in the air. He stays out of double play. He controls the strike zone. He makes consistent contact. And then you've got Alvarez, Tucker, Diaz, and everybody's going to love that. We're just not there yet. We're just not there yet. So if we're going to take the argument of your best hitter's got to hit 2, well, then Jose Altuve should hit 2. Okay? But the best hitter right now is Jeremy Pena. So he needs to hit second as well. Okay? There's just no other argument for it.
All right, everybody. We are wrapping up here on Extra Bases. I promised to read some comments and other stuff, but we didn't get to it because of other stuff. So that's going to do it. Next week, hopefully our lights will be back because, man, this is killing me, dude. This is killing me. That's going to do it for Extra Bases. For Jeremy, I'm Jason. Till next time, thanks for joining us.